All right, welcome to another little corner of my plant universe. This is the sewing nook area that's right off my kitchen. It gets an absolute ton of natural light, bright, direct light for several hours every day, which has been great for this habanero pepper plant that my husband is extremely excited to eat peppers off of. This was very exciting for us because today was the day that we got our first two flowers to bud. Sorry, not to bud, to bloom. I'm trying to get it to focus here. So there's one, and then the other is actually right on the other side. It's on the same main stalk. So this is just a really healthy plant, I guess, that it was able to really pop off two in one day. But looking at it is really exciting to think about them all being in bloom, because you can see each little leaf cluster has these tiny little buds on it. And so this will be a fun one to make some update videos, especially when the peppers start to form. We grew this plant from seed, which was super exciting. It's one of the first things, especially of this size, I would say, especially that I have grown from seed. Other than, of course, some gardening I've done with my family growing up, but I mostly enjoyed the products of that rather than the process, but now I've learned to love the process. I have this pot. I did buy this pot from Lowe's because I wanted to have basically like the smallest amount of dirt that it would need. I put it on a couple of milk crates that I get from my work. I work at a coffee shop, and I stacked them up. That's mostly just to save my back. I work at a really busy shop, so my work week is rather physically intense. So when I get home and want to garden, leaning over and crouching down isn't that appealing. So I elevated it a little for myself. But that's really exciting. Definitely will keep some updates going about that. Over here, I have some more peppers in I just basically used a piece of trash, which is this styrofoam. The white that you can see is packing material. I think we got some sort of electronics in that. And then these little guys are they're growing quite a bit slower than the habanero seeds. I believe that some of these are, it's called a scorpion pepper, purple scorpion, I believe. As well as another type of chili that I'm not recalling the name of right now. I kind of got these mixed up a bit and just told Danny that we would be excited to see what they turned out to be when they bore fruit. Here's our snakes from the propagation sill. These have just gone into soil a couple days ago, so it's really hard to say how quickly they're going to pup. They all had nice roots that were at least an inch or two long. So I decided to just take the leap of faith. I've got all 6 in there right now. And I believe that's actually all I have. I'd like to start some more soon, just to see learn more about like the life cycle or the propagation cycle, and maybe if I can do things to help it be more efficient or better. Yeah, moving on up here, I have my jelly bean plant. I've also heard that this plant is called dados, like fingers. I'm actually not positive of the scientific name of this guy, but I actually have another one of these little dudes coming because it's one of the monthly plants from Succulent Studio. So theirs looks like it's a little bit of more of a neon green, and I'm not sure if that's just because it's a wee baby, but we shall see. I have these in El Pato cans because I just think that this is one of the cutest, like best looking designed cans, like potentially in the whole world. I love it so much. So it's also a great way to upcycle things. I'm gonna turn this one because, as you can see, his face is turning to the sun. So I like to kind of challenge them to continue their movement. I don't actually know if it helps them grow taller, but I just like to sort of rotate them around when I notice that's happening. This is another plant that has been kind of fun because it's been telling me when it needs water. Just these two leaves actually do look a little wrinkly like they do when they need water. And as soon as you water it, it's just like right back at it and super happy. These are from Florida Cactus, and I haven't killed them yet, huzzah, but they've also been in here in this lovely bright window. So I truly feel that that has something to do with their success, and I just don't think I'm going to keep succulents outside anymore, at least not during hurricane season and not on my screened porch due to the light factor. So this big baby is a ginger plant. Oh, and there's a little gecko hanging out at the top of my window. Fortunately for me this time, that is on the outside. I have had 4 geckos now get stuck in my condo, and I've had to evict them outside. I'm sort of getting good at it, I hope. It's not something I look forward to, but part of life here in Florida. This ginger plant just really shocked the hell out of me, quite honestly. It is, man, I want to say it's almost 3 feet tall. Let's grab the yardstick and find out real quick. So this plant, yeah, wow, oh my gosh, wow, here it is compared to a yardstick. That top leaf really is almost at the 3 foot mark. So this plant was, or this ginger was so funny because I was watching an episode of Epic Gardening. If you guys haven't heard of that or you've never listened to that, it's an amazing podcast. The host's name is Kevin. He is a very beautiful man and gardens a ton and has made a career for himself out of all of that. And it's very cool. And he is just really inspiring and very like straightforward, factual, scientific based evidence, not a lot of frills, which I really like. And I've learned a lot from him so far. So thanks, Kevin. He was talking about planting ginger, and I thought, well, I love ginger. I eat ginger fairly frequently when I can. And having fresh ginger around is always nice and good for you. So I thought, well, I have ginger. I should plant it and see what happens. So I did that. I planted it in this lovely hammered silver bowl, which I got from the thrift store for a couple of dollars. And ginger is a rhizome, I believe, which means it basically doesn't root. Like the ginger bulb, like the part that we would grate and use as ginger itself, isn't going to shoot roots down, if I'm understanding that correctly. So it is not needing to be in a shallow, or it is not needing a deep surface. Oh gosh, sorry. There's the loud Prime delivery van. 'Tis the season, everybody. Shop small, support local businesses. Fuck Amazon. Sorry, just had to throw that out there. I have definitely bought things on Amazon in my life, and probably will again someday, but I think this is a great time of year to support however you can, however else. Let's keep our communities alive. Anyway, rant over. This ginger just sat dormant under the soil for weeks. And I thought, there is no way anything is going to happen. And then one day, out of nowhere, a really beautiful, sturdy little shoot just popped right out and grew. I'm not even exaggerating when I say it grew a couple of inches in one day. And then it got to this height in a couple of weeks. So it was really quite impressive, and I love it. And I'd honestly like to grow a few more. I think it's really beautiful. It's really quite dramatic and structural, and I'm just really excited that this happened, and it's mine now. And I just kind of cozied in the little lithop that I just bought. I just set it right on top here because the ginger isn't bothered by it, and it is so freaking cute, and it really does look like a butt, and I am very excited about that little guy. I also have a couple of succulent leaves that had dropped off of some plants, and they're starting to take root, and I kind of was experimenting if they would be okay up here with the direct sun. They're getting a bit shriveled, but they both still have healthy roots, so I'm kind of tracking that. Here on the shelf with the chicken, that is my jasmine plant. I ordered that online off Etsy, and I believe it came from New Jersey. It's a really beautiful plant, and it has grown like an absolute weed, and I am so looking forward to my first season of jasmine blooms, and also to be continuing to train it up my window here. There is this cool little, we're kind of seeing how the Spanish moss grows inside. So it has a bit of new growth on it, which is very cool, and it's like a perfect curlicue. So it's quite adorable. This is, the jasmine is joined here just by a little chicken model that I thought was kind of funny. My aunt gave it to me years ago. Held on to it. Next shelf here we have pineapple. I really can't say with certainty that there's much progress made on that pineapple down in the center. It looks like it has a bit of new growth, but not a ton. That may be a failed situation. I also have the indoor version of my bunny ears cactus. These are rooting, one just barely, the other quite nicely, and the outdoor ones are also rooting. And I'm going to give them a bit more time, I think, and then I'm going to make a video about that as well to follow up from my first video. This is my spray bottle for misting things. And inside of this little DIY shitty cloche, I have some burro's tail petals, as well as the salvageable bits from a few succulents that haven't been doing so well. There in the center. Up top, I have 24 rooted burro's tail nodes, so that's super exciting, and I can't wait for them to grow and to give them away to folks and have my own really bushy plant in a few years. Down here, we have the aloe and agave that Jess and Ben sent me. All three plants are doing so wonderful. I made a video about potting these guys in this green container, so they're like really happy in there, which I was a little bit anxious because it doesn't have drainage. And I thought that I might be crowding them a bit, which I do think is possible, but they're not seeming annoyed at all. They seem quite happy, so I'm going to wait until they're much more crammed in there to move them, because they just seem like they're flourishing. And then there's the jade that I just replanted with lots of room for more friends in there, and I turned it in hopes that it would kind of start growing towards the light a little. And I have one more cart over here. This one is a little cart from IKEA, which is kind of cool because I can move it into more shaded areas or more sunny areas without having to worry too much about lifting and rearranging things. So it's on some nice little casters and wheels, which is kind of cool. I have my ghost plant, which is one of the ones I got in the October Succulent Studio box. Looks like it's doing well. I have this gorgeous satin pothos. I forget what the oh, it has a bug stuck to it. How odd. I forget what the syndapsis. I want to say syndapsis is what this one's called. And it has rooted finally, which is very exciting. I'm just using I think it was like a coconut water or something, little kind of cute bottle. So I can see its root and I can see what's going on in there. It does have a small offshoot as well. This one is my Snow White waffle plant. I have made a video about that. I am a bit worried about it. It doesn't seem like it's doing super well in this transplant situation. It's a bit confusing because it does have some happy new growth in the center of each of the 4 little bits, but this smallest plant is almost all but dead. So I'm just gonna keep my eye on this one. I think it's quite a cute plant, and I saw a large one recently that was pretty cool. So as much as I hope that it doesn't die, I'll also, you know, my life will go on, though its will not. And then I have my burro's tail here. As you can see, it has this beautiful little baby growth that's going to, gosh, come on, camera, focus. That's going to turn out to be a whole nother branch, basically, is sort of the way that these guys do their thing. They have like an active node that then starts growing a tiny little nubbin, and then it grows, you know, 4 or 5 around it, and eventually it looks like these guys. So this one is very cool because it already has those 2, and this is kind of a little solo guy. And there are some really cute little hot pink roots that are coming out of the base here. I think that's just sort of the plant's effort to anchor itself a little bit. So yeah, this one is just so cool. I'm so happy that Jess sent me some. I'm so pleased that it's doing well. That excites the absolute heck out of me. And I'll definitely be posting updates about this one. And then here we have a couple, I just actually have 2 of the spider plants here. They're kind of happy wherever you put them, so I've just sort of been moving them around. They're kind of my first victim when it comes time to move. And then this is, oh shoot, her little flower closed up. She was showing me her flower much nicer earlier in the day, and I was planning on including that in this video, but it's closed. So if you haven't seen the flower of the Purple Heart, it's that little hot pink part, but it was just opened in a rather adorable manner. I think and hope that that node at the bottom means it is going to start growing for me. This is one that was just borrowed off of a gigantic overflowing plant. So it looks very healthy, and that root has already shown a bit of progress, but we actually also just got that one about a week ago. So there's a lot going on over here. This is kind of, the cart is kind of becoming my like junior propagation area, just for some things that maybe, I'm trying to sort of determine if they like even more light, which is what will be received in this area, versus my propagation windowsill, which is just basically like directly to the right here. My kitchen isn't clean, so I won't be showing you right now, but that area, it also receives quite a bit of natural light, but I would consider that to be more bright indirect, because the staircase that goes up to my neighbor's condo sort of shields that from the intense light that this area is getting. Like, I'm even just like pretty sweaty having stood here to make this video, so it's quite warm. Quite a bit of direct light. So yeah, that's what's going on over here. I'm excited to finally feature this area in a video. I hadn't done that yet, so that's pretty cool. And to see what continues to happen throughout the months over here. Today is the last day of November. Tomorrow is the 1st of December, so this is kind of my check-in to show this area, and I'm hoping to kind of try to show each plant area of my home at least once every other month. I'm trying to be realistic with my goals because I also work full-time and have several other hobbies and interests. So I don't want to get too carried away by saying how frequently I will be updating this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a nice little sunny spot, definitely the sunniest spot in my house. So I think that this will likely turn into a food production area where we can be growing more consumable things. My husband is a spicy food absolute fanatic, so I think that there would be no such thing as growing too many peppers for him. So I'd love to keep experimenting with growing peppers, as well as having all my decorative plants. More herbs would be very cool. More things that smell nice. Just pretty much a very multi-purpose plant zone that I hope looks even more lush and beautiful next time I show it off.